Chris Mackowski for Emerging Civil War. I'm at Harper's Ferry National Historic Park, and it's coming up in the anniversary of the 160th anniversary of John Brown's raid here. And I'm inside the firehouse, one of the coolest places I think that there is to visit. And it's kind of understated and a little stark and a little surprising when you get here. Hard to believe John Brown holed up in this room for 36 hours with 18 men. Let me kind of show you. It's really small. Over to my right is Terry Rensel, one of our editorial board members, making his little photobomb cameo appearance there. Some fire equipment in the back. You can see the hoses rolled up there. John Brown made his raid on October 16th. When that all fell apart, he and his followers holed up in this small little room and held out for 36 hours, hoping for some sort of rescue. Instead, a bunch of United States Marines surround the place, led by Robert E. Lee, who happened to be home on leave from his assignment in Texas. He's got with him a young cavalryman, Jeb Stewart, who at that point is also working for the Army. And Stewart leads these men against this assault. Leads these men to kind of lead the Marines to assault this building. Brown tells his men, make every shot count, trying to kind of shoot them down. A couple of the Marines do get shot. One of them dies. But Stewart breaks in. They overwhelm Brown's men, and he goes on trial shortly after in what becomes known as the trial of the century. And you can come here to Harper's Ferry today and stand inside this room. And you can see a very small, simple brick structure, wooden doors. Terry Rensel, who was here at the time of the raid, hard to believe, and kind of get a feel for the history. One of my coolest Civil War experiences years and years ago, I was teaching a class on journalism in the Civil War, and I brought my class here, and one of the historians with the park came down and sat with us, and we talked about the coverage of John Brown's raid and the coverage of the trial here in this firehouse. And what a great experience that was to be right where history happened and be talking about it and immersed in it like that. So the anniversary of John Brown's raid coming up, and delighted to be here at Harper's Ferry to share in that and experience and walk in those very historic footsteps. Hope you have the opportunity to visit Harper's Ferry. If you haven't, a very worthwhile experience to come down into the recreated old town. Lots of museums, lots of shops, one of the best bookstores in the Park Service. Great spot to visit here at Harper's Ferry. For Emerging Civil War, I'm Chris Mackowski.